Let's talk about Millard West, their offense. Couple of different quarterbacks that they've played throughout the year. What challenges do they present to your defense coming in?
Well, I think the biggest thing is they're so multi-formation, and they're going to give you a ton of different looks. They do a great job of running that inside zone read, and then coming back and working some perimeter stuff, and then all of a sudden they get you sucked up, and then they're going to launch a big pass play on a fade or some sort of post play. So again, we got to get lined up properly from that perspective. But anytime you have a two quarterback system, usually one guy is a better thrower and one guy is a better passer. And we think we have a little bit of an idea which one's which. Both of those guys are terrific athletes, and they're going to they basically run the same package with those kids, but they do have a couple wrinkles for each one of them that we feel comfortable when they come into the game.
Offensively, Braden Miller takes over at quarterback. He's been doing great, and you guys you can't get any more balanced. I guess by 1 yard, I guess, right? You guys
Yep.
could be more balanced, but the total yardage is just dead even 50-50. What does Braden bring to the table and the rest of the offense for you guys?
Well, I think when you talk about Braden Miller, he's done a great job of commanding our offense. We knew that was a position. He came into 2 or 3 games a year ago when Cannon had a little bit of an MCL issue there at the end of the season and the beginning of the football playoffs. And so he's got a good game experience. The nice thing about Braden, he can hurt you with his arm and he can hurt you with his legs. And he does a great job of getting our guys in the right spot from an athletic perspective. And then vice versa, we have multiple guys that we play on the offense, and we're going to give you guys a lot of different looks. We're going to give our opponents a lot of different looks, a lot of different formations, a lot of different shifts, a lot of different motions in order to make sure you guys get lined up properly. And I think that bodes well to how Braden operates with command in our offense. So we've hit a couple big pass plays. We're going to have to do that here tonight, but you're going to have to establish a run as the district competition goes on, as you prepare yourself for cooler weather, nastier weather in the playoffs. You're going to have to be able to run the football. And so for us, we've slowly but surely gotten better at running that football, and we're going to have to establish the run here tonight.
And this game isn't a district game for either squad, but important for playoff points. As you get to the end of the season, this game will loom large in those type of points.
You're exactly right. When it comes to the seeding of the football playoffs, this game, for whoever wins this, is going to elevate those guys to probably an opportunity to play in a home game. Again, there's a lot of games going on here at the end of the season, and that could account differently than that. But this allows you to get that first home playoff game. And not that I spent too much time talking about that with our kids. We like it because it's a playoff type atmosphere. It's a great game for us because these guys are highly ranked, and obviously everything else will playoff wise, the chips will drop where they may. But this is a huge football game, huge advantage. We think coming out to Foster Field, we want to make that a huge advantage. So we got to be ready to go here in this first quarter.
Rowdies versus the Crazies. The student sections are maybe two of the best in the state. How big of an impact can the Rowdies have in a game like this?
Huge. We got the best student body in the state. So I know Millard West has a great student body also. But when I talk about our kids, I love coaching and teaching our kids, whether it's in the classroom, on the practice field. Our student body does a great job of sport, not just football, but all sports at Kearney High School. The energy level is always extremely high, and just the tremendous support that those guys give our football team is always greatly appreciated.
Coach, thanks a lot for the time. Good luck tonight.
All right, thank you.
Good move. Hey, Mr. Goff. Serious? Hey, Jordan. Hello. Hey, fellas, what's up? Something wrong, fellas? My bad, guys, my bad.
Hello, everyone, and you are looking live here at Foster Field in Kearney, Nebraska for another Friday Night Light showdown between the Kearney High Bearcats and the number 5 ranked team in the state, the Millard West Wildcats. I'm one of your hosts, Jeff Ekstrom, along with my co-partners Eric Olga, James Lee, and Zach Warnkin for another showdown here in Kearney. It's a big one between Kearney and Millard West.
Jeff, I will never get tired of that intro. Big one tonight. It's the Strive Game of the Week. That makes it big anyway, right? Also in Class A, you're talking about huge playoff points. Not a district game for either one of these teams, but if you want a good seed, you want that chance at a home game, especially that first round, you want a chance at a home game later in the rounds, you better have your ducks in a row, and big ducks are available here tonight. The Battle of the Cats between the Bearcats and the Wildcats. Kearney about to take the field. Millard West in the all-white across the way. Kearney in the all-blue. And this is what Friday night is supposed to feel like outside, too. It's nice and cool, 50 degrees or so. The wind, just barely a breath of wind out there. But Foster Field at Cope Stadium, it's hard to beat this on a Friday night. Zach, James, anything to add?
I mean, I'm really excited for this game. Past couple weeks hasn't been too, interesting. Kind of been a little bit of blowouts for Bearcats, so it's going to be interesting to see what they can do against a good, really good team out here.
Yeah, and I'm just excited to see this top 5 matchup between the two teams. Well, the Bearcats aren't ranked. They win this, they should be in that pretty high ranked after that.
Should be ranked after this one if you get this W. Millard West, their only loss was to Omaha Burke, the number 1 team in Class A. Kearney's only loss is to Grand Island, so it's not Wojie. Last year I came out here and it was Wojie for life. That's all I heard, and it's not quite Wojie anymore. Anyway, since then though, big wins for the Bearcats, and like James said, it's been big wins literally for the Bearcats. You also will not find through 5 games a statistically more balanced team than what Kearney is for Coach Brandon Cool. You heard it in the pregame. They are literally 2 yards away from being a perfect 50-50 split. 830 yards rushing, 832 yards passing on the season. It's not necessarily play calls like that, but when your yards come 50-50 like that, if the running game isn't quite going, then Braden Miller in the passing game tries to take over a little bit. Conversely, if you can't throw it, maybe you can run it. You go back and forth, and that's what you end up with is a really balanced offense. That's what Coach Cool would love to see for his Bearcats. Coach Kirk Peterson across the sideline on the Millard West bench. He's been getting it done actually this year with 2 quarterbacks. Tristan Gomes is a 6'4", 195-pound junior, and Nate Glantz is a 5'10", 170-pound junior. So a couple juniors, they bring a little bit different skill set. One's a little bit more running, one a little bit more passing, but both are really good athletes. And sometimes you can put an athlete in any kind of system and just kind of watch them flourish. So that is what Coach Peterson, who at this point in the season thought that the 2 quarterbacks would have sorted themselves out. They really haven't, apparently. And so that is still something that the Wildcats are trying to figure out exactly who's going to be that number 1 guy, who's the guy they can rely on when the chips are stacked up. So beautiful night here in Kearney with the sun setting behind us, some clouds off to the east. It is not much better than this. We are winding down that pregame clock and excited to see the Bearcats and the Wildcats here tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. These are 2, I'll focus on the offenses. They're going to be very similar to each other. Millard West, maybe they run a little more this year than Kearney does, but they're more about that ground and pound game, then open up the pass. You're going to see Jackson Wright for Millard West be the main ball carrier for Millard West, along with Tristan Gomes, and then Braden Miller and Miko Maisner for the Bearcats.
It will be Miko Maisner along with Jaden Ingen on the kickoff return. This will be Ingen fielding it from the 6, and into the middle he goes and into the pile at around the 25, but a penalty flag currently rests at the 19-yard line, typically thrown in the area where a block of the illegal variety is thrown, and it's just a little bit more of a hole for the Kearney Bearcats.
And this is going to be a night where Kearney cannot afford undisciplined play like a lot of flags, because this is a Millard West team that is going to capitalize on any mistakes you're going to give them, especially, and they proved that. They're number 5. The only losses to the top-ranked team in the state, so Kearney's got to play pretty disciplined tonight.
And Millard West, you might say, slightly more battle-tested. They had a big win over Millard South in overtime, so that was 2 ranked teams going at it last Friday. I know that was a lot of fun from them. So they're going to start this drive from their own 9, and that is where quarterback Braden Miller will key things up for the Bearcats. Again, if there's any wind at all, it's out of the north, so it's into the Bearcats' face here in this first quarter, and there's not much of a breeze. As the Bearcat, boy, it got quiet in here all of a sudden. It's like game starts and sheesh. That was Masters in motion, an option play on first down, and Miller is across the 10, but just shy of the 15-yard line.
And then I think it was what Kearney needs to do is spread the field, because this is a Millard West team that's one of the biggest in the state. You got Cole Nealio, who's 6'4", listed as 6'4", 300 pounds. So Kearney does not, most likely not want to go straight up the gut, because Millard West is bigger than Kearney up front.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see how well Kearney can get to the edge then on the night. And that is not bad. Miller is right near, I think they're going to give the first down catch on the far sideline to Seth Stroh. That is a first down for the Bearcats, the initial first down of the ball game. So Stroh on the little hitch route. I will be very curious to see how does Kearney attack. You mentioned up the middle is going to be difficult. So you got to, if you're going to run, you probably need to be running well or at least efficiently on the edges. How are they going to throw the ball as well? Can you take some shots over the top, or do you kind of have to, like Seth just did, take your 8 yards and be good with that? Inside handoff. This is Maisner, and boy, he just darts through the middle of the line, crosses the 25, and gets it out to the 26-yard line.
Good first step there by the Bearcats offensive line, getting that initial push, something that they may have struggled, especially against Grand Island. That was one thing that Coach Kuhl would wanted to work at these throughout the season, and that's what they're going to do tonight.
And if I hadn't done the podcast with Coach Kuhl, I would not have known he is the offensive line coach. Did you know that?
He did, yeah, especially with Coach Christo now, or he did defensive line. But, yeah, he worked a lot with the offensive line, a lot.
And that play stuffed up by the interior defensive line as Maisner was tripped up there. Braden Cundiff, one of the ends on the near side, actually got Miko by the thighs, pulled him down. So it's third down and about 3 here with 10 minutes to go in the opening quarter on the initial possession of the ball game. Fake the handoff and back to the near side. A little slip screen. The ball was free for a moment. Who's got it? The Wildcats say they do, as the pass was completed to Cale Masters. And on the first hit, he coughs it up. And the Wildcats have got the football. 1st and 10 from the Kearney 28-yard line coming up after the fumble by Masters.
So nice little kind of bubble screen down there on the near sideline. Didn't see exactly at the moment. Like Eric said, it was at the first hit. Maybe a hand just reached in there to pop the ball loose. But those are things Kearney cannot do. They can't turn the ball over, especially when they're deep in their own territory.
So Millard West will have it for the first time here on offense. And they will trot out Tristan Gomes, the 6'4", 195-pound junior, first behind center. 2 tight end sets and 2 receivers out to the far side. They'll roll towards that left. And Gomes firing it deep. Both receivers are there, and both are open, and one for the touchdown on the first play offensively for Millard West. It's Caden Oderman going 28 yards for the score for Millard West.
And right there, that's just miscommunication there by the cornerbacks. Looked like one of them bit too early. And let one of the wide receivers get behind him. That's something that you can't do against Millard West. They're going to make you pay for it like they did right there.
And one play drive is all it takes there for the Wildcats to get on the board. The extra point kick up and good. Caden Williams, I believe, was the one doing that. And so 9:35 to go, first quarter. Millard West strikes first, 7-0 Wildcats when we come back.
Life is already full of things to worry about. Like mornings. With First National free checking, we've eliminated the worry.
turnover, touchdown. 2 plays back-to-back for Millard West, and it is a 7-0 Wildcat lead as Sam Fetty, 6'2", senior kicker, kicks this one away, fielded on the far side. Now we're going for a sideline return for Ingen. And now he works his way back into the middle across the 25, but just shy of the 30. So
I believe that's Trey Rodriguez.
Was it Trey?
Yes.
See, you guys have better eyes than I do. Where is he? That was 8?
8.
Yep.
Okay. All right, I'll go with that. So, 1st and 10 for Kearney from their own 28.
Off to a better start than their last drive.
Well, they would have had it right about here last time, if not for the block in the back on the opening kickoff return. Option play. Maisner looking for the edge, cuts it up, and has the 35 before he's shoved out of bounds. There for Millard West on the defense was Zach Merkley, 185-pound senior at linebacker, and it gives you an idea. That was a good look at just how quick Miko can make that 1 foot in the ground and up. Got an extra 4 yards out of that run when he probably should have been tackled for a 2-yard gain.
Yeah, this can be a big challenge for the Millard West linebackers because they're going to have to play sideline to sideline tonight to make sure Meisner doesn't get the edge and go off to the races.
Hageman in at fullback. They just straight hand off to Meisner on an ISO play, and that time Millard West handles it nicely. And on that tackle was Harmdirks, the 210-pound defensive lineman. So 3rd and a full 4 yards to go here as they are shy of the 35-yard line. We're under 9 minutes to go in the opening period. Millard West, number 4 in the Omaha World Herald, and Kearney unranked by the Omaha World Herald. Although if you look at Huskerland, it's a composite, and that 3rd down pass from Miller was deflected along the defensive line that time for Millard West. That was Dane Christensen that got up and knocked that one down, and a 3-and-out punting situation now for the Bearcats, who gained 6 yards on the drive.
And I don't think if you're Kearney you can do much about that. That's just the height of the D-line by Millard West. Just pop their hand up there and is able to get a tip on the ball.
Miller does double duty as the punter for the Bearcats. Pretty decent kick. Fair catch is called for and made at the 38-yard line. Garrett Kennedy corralled that one. So 1st and 10 for Millard West from their own 38.
And Kearney is going to see a very similar scheme to what they run. Be a lot of option. Going to be a lot of handoffs up the middle, especially with their size up front. Jackson Wright, give me the main ball carrier. He had 146 yards against Omaha Bryan last week in their 45-3 win.
So that's Gomes again, 1 play and a touchdown. So he's back out there in the shotgun, looking to his left. Quick pass out into the left flat and a 1st down catch made by Dallas Beanham as he is right near the midfield stripe. So about 12 yards there on 1st down.
Kind of looked like Kale kind of hesitated to go in to try to cover that guy.
Well, you got to be careful because about the time you start to bite on that hitch route, then it's a little hitch and go, and well, that's what happens on 1st down, or what happened on the first play. Kale came up, pass went over his head. So certainly a time to adjust right now for the Bearcat defense. 1st and 10 right at the midfield stripe. And this will be Gomes on the keeper, and Meisner coming around the defensive end, pulls him down. I guess that's why Miko plays DN, right? Okay, I got you now.
And watching Miko on that play, he originally lined up as a defensive end, then played back out as a kind of an inside linebacker, came on that blitz on that guard side, and was able to catch the running back from behind.
Wasn't even a running back. That was a quarterback.
Oh,
that was Gomes. He faked the handoff. He faked the handoff and then followed the running back that time. His running back, Jackson Wright, 200-pound senior. Millard West trying to get lined up, and play clock running down. They're going to have to call a timeout. So the first timeout of the game goes for Millard West, but the Wildcats leading the Bearcats of Kearney 7-0 with 7:37 to play here in the opening period. We'll come back to Cope Stadium after this.
Life is already full of things to worry about. Like mornings. With First National free checking, we've eliminated the worry.
Coming out of the timeout, Millard West 2nd and 10 from just shy of the midfield stripe. This will be Jackson Wright, the running back, and he runs into a host of Bearcats that time. Nothing doing on the inside run. As that was Meisner again. That was the leading the charge from the defensive end spots. Tristan Bergeman was also there. Two-way player. You don't see that a ton in Class A anymore, especially on the lines, right? But Bergeman, offensively and defensively, a starter on the line. So 3rd and 10 for Millard West. Gomes rolling the pocket to the near side. Got a pancake out in the flat for one of his offensive linemen. The pass incomplete, sailed too high there as it was intended for Beatum, who had actually cut back towards the middle of the field. Pretty good coverage, and after giving up a first down, the Bearcat defense holds and will force a punt after just 11 yards on the drive.
Yeah, that was a good play by the Bearcat secondary. Didn't bite on that roller. That could have looked like maybe an option run to the outside. They stayed back, played to their man, was able to force a 4th down.
Punt to the near side. That's Rodriguez back there, and it will be downed at the 20. Gabe Anderson was down there for Millard West. So Kearney will have it for the 3rd time already here in this first quarter. 6:45 to play in the opening period. And if you missed the start of this one, about 5 plays, and then on a 3rd down pass attempt, Cale Masters hit quickly and coughed up the football that was recovered by Millard West. And 1 play later, Oderman had a 28-yard touchdown catch from Tristan Gomes. But since then, the defenses haven't given up much. 1 first down combined between the two since that first possession by each team. Now, the 3rd attempt at it for Kearney, and that's Miller coming to the left side, got to the line of scrimmage, and he gets pushed back. Had it seemed a little bit of daylight, but it closed up quickly. 94, Nabulsi was in there, so a short gain, less than 1 on the play.
Yeah, Kearney likes on those quarterback runs, they like to pull a guard and go through and have the guard go through that open hole first to kind of get any initial linebackers, and that's just good gap recognition by Millard West to fill that gap quickly and shut down that play.
Miller sending 3 receivers out to the right, straight drop back, looking over the middle, back to the left, but it is intercepted. Picked off and moving back to the middle now, coming near sideline. This is Dallas Beanham, and Beanham is tackled at the 22-yard line of Kearney. That one might have sailed and floated just a little bit on Miller that time. He had Seth Stroh one-on-one, and with the pass kind of fluttering up there, Beanham was able to step underneath it and pick it off.
And that was all caused by number 4, Braden Cundiff. He came not untouched, but he blew past his man. Maybe it was the left tackle for Kearney. He could right off the snap. He was by the line, forced Braden to make a quick decision, and in a result, it was just a floater up there for Millard West to pick it off.
So 2 turnovers early on here in this quarter, and the Kearney defense is called upon once again. Gomes in the shotgun. A blitz from Kearney. Doesn't get there right away, and Beanham able to snag a catch. And a good one it was, as he got hit pretty quick there by Will Richter. But a nice gain down to the 17-yard line, a pickup of 5 there on first down.
Yeah, inside linebacker blitz by Kearney. That was good job by the offensive line of Millard West. I would say more of a veteran offensive line to pick up that blitz and give Gomes time to throw that one.
So 2nd and 5 from the 17-yard line. Running game hasn't done anything just yet, and an inside handoff on the zone play only gets a yard. Now Kearney says they've got the football, and they do. The Bearcats force the first turnover for their defense here tonight. And that was Jackson Worley that came up with a loose football.
Well, these juniors are kind of stepping it up. That I've been seeing is stepping up, making those big plays, causing the fumbles, getting the fumbles.
So Kearney finally forces one to go their way. And with 5:11 to go here in the first quarter, they will take over. The thing for Kearney, though, they got to figure out a way to get across their own 30 right now. Every single snap for Kearney has happened inside their own 25, and only 4 snaps have happened for Millard West on their own side of the field. Miller, middle, sailed that one, had some pressure again, and kind of backpedaled at the last second before he let that thing go. That caused the pass to go a little higher than he wanted, and it falls incomplete.
And again, the pressure coming from the tackle sides. I saw number 4, Brain Cundiff, getting pressure again. Those tackles for Kearney has got to be able to handle that speed from Millard West defensive ends, give Brain some time, or he's going to be forced to make a throw that's maybe a 50-50 ball.
Only 26 net yards of offense so far for Kearney in the game, trying to get something going on 2nd and 10. They want a little sweep play to Maisner. He darts in and out, gets it across the 20 and out to the 22-yard line. So manageable situation here. 3rd and 4 coming up for the Bearcats.
And I don't know what happened there. Again, Cundiff in the play again, forcing Braden Miller to make that pitch. Maybe something to do with the left tackle. What Coach Cool preaches is making a left step to the outside shoulder of the defensive end and sealing that edge, something Kearney hasn't done so far, allowing Millard West to stop these outside runs.
So 3rd and 4, Miller pulls it down one time, now fires it up the sideline right to Beanham for the second straight possession. Beanham now looking for the block on the far sideline, and he looks like he's going to go. Beanham at the 5, touchdown Wildcats.
And that's miscommunication there. Seth Stroh decided he was getting, looked like he might have gone on a hitch near the sideline, and right when Miller was going to throw it, he decided to just go downfield, and Miller wasn't ready for it, and that's just an easy pick 6 there for Millard West.
And that was, that's exactly right. Beanham had that thing, and then he only needed one block. He got across the middle of the field, needed one block on the far side, and took that one to pay dirt. Now Millard West on the quick change. Even they are a little confused getting everybody out there correctly, as Sam Fetty will be doing the kicking. Good snap, good hold, and that kick looks true. 14-0, Millard West on top of Kearney. 4:17 to play first quarter. The Bearcats looking to get untracked on offense.
Life is already full of things to worry about. Like mornings. With First National free checking, we've eliminated the worry. Life is already full of things to worry about. Like mornings. With First National free checking, we've eliminated the worry. Life is already full of things to worry about.
Jeff, if I told you that the total offense net yardage-wise in this game was Millard West 39 and Kearney 32, you would probably tell me what was the score on the scoreboard.
Probably I would guess 0-0 on paper, but that really describes what game right now, what kind of game Kearney is having right now, the field position battle and just mistakes.
3 turnovers, and this time Kearney tries the old switcheroo to get Maisner on the other side to see if they can get Miko an attempt on the kickoff, and that time it goes into the end zone for a touchback. So from their own 20, 4:17 to play here in the opening quarter, and if nothing else, even if this drive doesn't necessarily end in points, this is a big drive for Kearney's offense to try to just say, okay, we can sustain something, try to get that field flipped, even when Millard West has snapped it on their side of the field. They've only snapped it 4 times on their half of the midfield stripe.
And if I'm Coach Cool, you need to pump up your offensive line because Millard West is just getting past the perimeter and putting so much pressure on Miller, forcing him to make decisions that are risky.
Yep, and I don't think there was enough guy. Yep, Seth Stroh wasn't quite ready for this one, so Coach Cool is going to have to take a timeout. So definitely a sluggish start right now for Kearney. Bad news is they've given up, a couple of turnovers. The good news is it's only been so far 14 points, and there's an awful lot of football yet to play. Then again, if you're going to get something going, you need to be getting it going pretty quick here.
I feel like Kearney hasn't attacked the edges as much as they probably need to be, even though they aren't getting necessarily the right blocks out there. We've seen a couple plays where Miko is making something out of nothing. So I think they need to play to the outside a little more because right now the up the gut up front is not working for him. In the passing game, Miller doesn't have enough time to throw to be able to establish a passing game. So from Kearney, attack the edges more.
I would agree. I would not say anything different. I think and Maisner on the edge has been the best thing going, and it hasn't been great, but 4 and 5 yards can pop into 12 and 15 pretty quick sometimes, especially with an athlete like Miko. So 4:17 to go, first quarter from their own 20. Little read play. Maisner looks for the edge, then cuts it up and gets 3 yards there. So he's pulled down by Zach Coleman. Excuse me, 35, not 25. 35 is Nick Putler, 175-pound senior. So about 3 on the pickup, 2nd and 7 as we are under 4 minutes to go. It's going to be cool out there, fellas, by the way. Yeah. So the first time really everyone's gotten to say, you know what, this cold air feels just fine. Miller, again, that's a little toss sweep. That's the play we've been kind of thinking about there as Maisner gets it across the 25 and is hit forward, actually. That's always a good job when your running back gets hit and then goes forward. Harmdierks pulls him down, and it's 3rd and a short 2 for the Bearcats.
And I think a good play call here for Kearney, do pitches to the outside like that, but maybe pull a guard to lead Miko because right now the linebackers for Millard West are doing a good job of focusing in on Maisner and shut down any outside pitches.
In an I formation, Millard West showing blitz here, and the play clock winding down. Kearney's going to have to take their second timeout of the opening quarter. So maybe a little miscommunication, but a little slow getting out of the huddle, and second timeout taken by the Bearcats. 3:01 to go, first quarter. It is Millard West leading 14-0 when we come back.
Like mornings. With First National free checking, we've eliminated the worry.
This sure feels like a big play here. 3rd down and 2 for the Bearcats, and Miller gets strung out on an option, almost stretched forward, then got thrown backwards. But Braden Cundiff, if he doesn't pull Miller back and stop his momentum dead cold right there at the 29, I think Miller might have been able to fall forward, but instead Braden went backwards, and he only got the 1 yard.
And see, Millard West, that's another example right there of them sealing that edge because you see Brain's eyes were to the outside, but he had to cut back in just because of how many Millard West defenders were surrounding that outside edge and forcing Kearney to run in there and having Cundiff make a play.
And before this punt, which was a pretty good one, a procedure against the Bearcats. Garrett Kennedy stands at his own 45 for Millard West.
If I'm Millard West right now, maybe send the house.
Why not? You'd almost feel like you're putting a nail in the coffin if you can get this here. And this punt not as good for Miller, and then it takes, well, no bounce. Boy, it just stopped dead right there at the 45-yard line. So Millard West will once again have really good field position to start a drive from the Kearney 45-yard line. 2:11 to play here in the opening quarter.
And again, Kearney asking for their defense to do the heavy lifting, because you almost feel like you can't give up any more points, or it's going to be really tough to come back from 3 possessions down.
Gomes has been the quarterback throughout the game so far for Millard West. He takes the snap and rolls to his right. Has some blockers out front, nobody open, so he just ducks it forward and picks up about 5 yards as he will make it to the 40-yard line.
And that's just a tremendous example of a good first step of that Millard West offensive line. When you look, usually when you see a rollout, you just see the line just laterally, and you see Millard West with a step forward. No Bearcats were in the backfield whatsoever, which allowed Gomes to roll out and make a play.
Take a look at some other scores across the state. Omaha North leading Papillion La Vista South 7-0 at the end of the first quarter. And Lincoln High is up 21-0 in their game, whoever they're playing. Running play for Jackson Wright there as he gets it across the 40 down to the 38-yard line. So third down and a full 3 yards yet to go for Millard West with 1:45 and counting here in the opening period. Millard West offensively, their first play of the game, a 28-yard touchdown pass to Oderman from Gomes, was great. Since then, they really haven't done anything offensively. 3rd and 3 here. Gomes will keep it on the quarterback read and just fall forward. That's a big fella playing quarterback and able to just fall forward inside the 35 down to the 34 for a first down for Millard West.
Yeah, Gomes listed at 6'4". He's a big boy there at quarterback, so you're going to be able to get that extra yard or two just by the initial push by Gomes for being just a big figure.
Hefty lefty, he is not, but Jared Lorenzen could fall forward for 8 yards sometimes, because who really wanted to be underneath that? Little over a minute to go here in the opening quarter. Millard West looking for more. Pump and go. Got hit as he threw it that time. Beanham, though, makes the adjustment and makes the catch down to the 20-yard line. Boy, Gomes got hit in the back as he let that thing go, and Beanham saw it early enough that he was able to stop himself, plant, and come back. And that was actually really good coverage by Rodriguez, but Beanham had a couple of interceptions and now a big offensive catch as well. 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line.
That's just a great showing of play recognition. And looking back, you see these receivers and cornerbacks all the time on TV. They're just not looking back at the ball. Beanham did enough time to be able to make that play.
From the 20 of Kearney, Gomes on the option. Fakes it, keeps it, cuts up, cuts back in the middle. Now it's a foot race, and there goes Gomes for the pylon, and he's got the 3rd touchdown of the first quarter for Millard West. 20 yards on the scamper.
And that is, you saw the defensive end. I believe Seth Stroh was playing end there. He did his job. He didn't bite going in. He sealed the outside. And right there, that just shows the interior blocking of Millard West to open up a hole of Gomes to cut back on and just get to the second level.
45 yards on the touchdown drive, capped by the 20-yard Gomes touchdown run. The kick is good, and it is Millard West up 21-0 here with 24 seconds to go in the opening quarter. We will step aside and we'll come back to Cope Stadium after this.
Life is already full of things to worry about. Like mornings. With First National free checking, we've eliminated the worry.
Well, now the offense, all of a sudden, Jeff, it clicked there on that drive for Millard West. 45 yards on the drive and the 20-yard touchdown run by Gomes. So they get the big pass play to beat them, and that is the worst thing that could possibly happen to Kearney right there. Rodriguez was trying to field that into the corner, and his momentum carries him out of bounds. Oh, and that's the kind of night it has been so far for the Bearcats.
And that's just about recognizing where you are on the field. And it looked like Trey was just a little more focused on the ball. And I think this is dangerous because if I'm Millard West, I would send a blitz and try to get a safety because you're at the Kearney's at the 1-yard line.
Yeah. I'm sending 9 here, or maybe 8, and one guy spy Miko, and everybody else is going basically. Yeah, real tough here. And, for a Kearney offense that hasn't really done anything, they needed to have the opportunity to flip the field, at least to try to do something, as Hageman keeps it on the fullback dive, and looks like they'll maybe give him the 3-yard line. So, actually, probably about as good as Kearney has run it right up the middle was on that play right there, and it looks like that should be the end of the first quarter of play. Turnovers for the Bearcat offensively have turned into points for the Wildcats on their end. Millard West 21, Kearney nothing at the end of the first quarter. We'll be back to Cope Stadium and Foster Field after this.
Good look. Hey, Mr. Goff. Serious? Hey, Jordan. Hello. Hey, fellas, what's up? Something wrong, fellas? My bad, guys, my bad.
Life is already full of things to worry about. Like mornings. With First National free checking, we've eliminated the worry.
Start of the second quarter, Braden Miller from his own end zone on the quarterback keep will have it out across the 5, nearly the 6-yard line. But that interior defensive front, it's stout. It's big, it's fast, it's stout in there, Jeff.
Yeah, yards have been hard to come by for Kearney, led by Cornelia, who actually has a walk-on offer from the University of Nebraska and Scott Frost, and they're just big, all over I believe 6'2", and right now for Kearney, it's just about getting yards for your punter.
And to the near side, that was dangerous as Stroh was the intended receiver on that hitch route. And inside out defensively, Nick Putler had just about had himself a pick six. There's already been one pick six by the Millard West defense. They forced 2 interceptions so far and a fumble on the first possession of the game for Kearney.
And even if that ball got passed, wasn't tipped, that looked like that hitch route could have been jumped there for another interception. And if Millard West right here again, I'd send the house.
Miller with a low snap picks it up, does get the punt away. And Bennett will field it at the 38-yard line, coming near sideline before he's knocked out of bounds, but a good return there for Bennett to the 24-yard line. So another short field. They began the last drive, did Millard West, at the Kearney 45. Other drives have started from the Kearney 22. That ended in a fumble, actually. Their own 38 and one play from the Kearney 28. So it is really remarkable to think about this game and the fact that all but 4 snaps have come not just on the Kearney side, but deep on the Kearney side of the field.
I'm Millard West, I might want to take a shot here.
Gomes, though, will pitch it forward on a little sweep play, and that will be Nate Glantz that took that one, if I was right. Is that 18? So Glantz, part-time quarterback, played a little receiver on that one and scoots 5 yards for a 2nd and 5 as he gets it down inside the 20 down to the 19-yard line.
And it didn't look like there was a lot of defenders there on the outside by Millard West. Bearcats playing a little more up the gut because that's what Millard West has been doing. They need to make sure they don't get hit with an outside run.
Jackson Wright is the running back with Gomes in the shotgun. Gomes will hand it off this time. Wright wiggles his way for a yard or two. The ball, did it come free at the end?
I believe so.
It did. Kearney's got the football again.
And you saw there it was Miko Mazer in there making the initial tackle once again. He originally set up on the outside of the tight end. Bearcat defensive line made a shift to the inside, and Mazer was able to blow past the tackle and make a tackle to force the fumble.
So Kearney forces the turnover. It was Corbin Foster that came up with it, and Kearney will have it 1st and 10 from their own 16-yard line.
Kearney living by the edge. I mean, it's 21-0, still a realistic score for them to come back on, but they need to do something offensively.
Braden Miller trying to get anything going in the passing game for the Bearcats. He will keep it himself here, fakes the pitch, squirts forward, and he's out across the 25-yard line. That's the best carry of the game for Braden Miller there.
That was just a good offensive play for the Bearcats. Up front, looked like they might have pulled a guard there, get that hole open right up the gut, allowed Miller to make a play.
Well, and that time you almost caught Millard West thinking sweep to Maisner, and that allowed a little seam up the middle there. We'll see if that's something Kearney can come back to. 2nd and 1 here. Miller wants to throw it deep, but he's going to fire it way over the head of Seth Stroh. No penalty flag on the near sideline as Stroh was battling with his defender.
Yeah, it looked like number 1, Gabe Anderson, was hanging on to an arm there on Seth Stroh. That's probably a 50-50 call, but nonetheless, maybe just a little overthrown.
Maybe if the throw isn't quite as overthrown, maybe you get that call if the play is a little closer. But about the time that ball got thrown in the air, you maybe could have thrown the flag, but it was pretty evident pretty quick how far over the head of everyone that was thrown. So, again, we say a very important play here, 3rd and a long 1 for the Bearcats. Maisner makes a guy miss in the backfield and goes forward. He's got a 1st down out to the 30-yard line. And all of Bearcat Nation takes a deep sigh right there as Miko Maisner picks up, I think, is that just 1st down number 2 of the game?
So. And that play was sniffed out there by Millard West, by 95 Dane Christensen. But Miko Maisner able to make a play, bounce to the outside using his athleticism and get the 1st down.
So 1st and 10 from just across the 30-yard line. For the Bearcats, Hageman goes in motion. Now Miller to the near side. That's Stroh, popped out of bounds on the little stop route at about the 38-yard line.
And it looks like that's going to be the recipe for success when it comes to the passing game, because right now the Bearcats are just not having luck downfield, especially when Miller doesn't have the consistency of having enough time in the pocket.
Well, and Millard West defensively, they're trying to stack things in close inside for Kearney to make it very difficult for Kearney to run. So now, although Braden Miller pops free, the ball, though, comes out at the end. It looks like Miller got it back. However, there is a penalty flag back at the Kearney 34-yard line. That's going to be a hold on the Bearcats. Well, that would have stood if with not the penalty flag. A very nice run by Braden Miller. And, just when we say, yeah, maybe Kearney is they're going to have to try to get that short passing game and something on the edge because it's difficult to run up the middle. Suddenly the middle is open. But that is a big penalty to move it all the way back to the 23-yard line. instead of having it in Millard West territory for the first time tonight. So the penalty yardage only goes down as 10, but net yardage, it's about 25, 27 yards of net yards right there that were taken off the board for Kearney's offense. 9.5 minutes to go in the opening half, 21-0 Millard West on top. Miller in the shotgun, throws it to the left, and, well, there you get to see Braden Miller trying to throw it over the defensive line of Millard West, and that is a tall, pun intended, order for Braden Miller right now.
And even if he's able to get that pass even deeper, that was a hard window to put that in. I think his intended receiver was number 38, Will Richter. He was surrounded by around 3 Millard West defenders.
So now back 3rd down and 17. The clock stopped with 9:25. Miller will roll to his left. Will set up deep comeback route. It is caught on the far side. What a snag. Seth Stroh was able to haul that thing in. Miller took a whooping right after he let that thing go, but it was on the money for a huge first down for the Bearcats.
And I don't think you could put that ball any higher for Stroh, because if that's more towards his chest, you had a Millard West defender who's right on top of Seth right there. So even though probably not the greatest place Braden wanted to put it, it's where it needed to be, and that's what counts.
1st and 10 from the 41. The clock rolling again with 9 minutes to go in the opening half. Miller with Maisner with him in the backfield. Quick pass is knocked down at the line. Anelio was back there. Well, about half of the defensive line for Millard West was in the backfield that time.
And especially on a pass play, if Anelio gets in that backfield, you have almost, unless you decide to tuck it and run, there's almost no way you can pass it over him. He's listed as 6'4", I believe, is what they have him at. But he's more, on another roster I saw, he was listed as 6'6".
Yeah, he's not small by any means. Strongly resembles another gentleman that wore 66 at Millard West, if I'm not mistaken. Miller tries to take off on a draw this time, and nothing doing there. Pulled down in the backfield by big number 70, and that is Noah Klein. They list him at 6'2", 290. Well, when he was a 7th grader, he was 6'2", 290. Yeah. I mean, this is just it's a big old line out there for Millard West, and they have absolutely consumed control of this game. It is now 3rd and 12, and the ball back to the 39-yard line of Kearney High.
You might look, if you're Kearney, look for a curl route with Sestro, something along the sideline, because just over the middle of the field, over the top, has not been working. Gabe
Anderson is the corner on the near side, and Kearney tried to snap that thing pretty quick, but before they can, a timeout, already the 3rd timeout of the first half taken by Coach Cool. All 3 timeouts have been taken with the penalty, or the play clock, I should say, winding down. So something to keep an eye on for the rest of, not anymore for the half, because the timeouts are gone by. Jeff, your first game back in Kearney. Dude, how's Lincoln, man?
It's fun. It's like I've been able to call a few stuff. Did a few soccer matches for the Big Ten. And, hey, Nebraska women's soccer is doing well. They're first in the Big Ten. They're on about a 5-game winning streak. So it's been fun. I've been able to do some stuff with Kearney, the student radio station down there. It's fun down there in Lincoln. Football isn't the best, but, it's still a fun time.
Oh, it'll get better. What have you done radio-wise?
I did lately. I was a board op for a volleyball game, and I was able to do a couple of studio updates throughout that match. But I've been told I'll be doing some more radio stuff when it comes to volleyball and soccer and whatnot. So got some stuff coming up.
Probably got to bide your time for a football call.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, that's pretty busy.
And those are limited opportunities.
Yes.
Anyway. We'll come back to that some other time. 3rd and 12. I'm fascinated about that. Miller with a max protection still gets hit as he throws, going for Stroh on a deep post, but it's incomplete. And Braden Miller, even with 7 guys blocking, there was still 4 in the backfield for Millard West. And the defensive front for the Wildcats continues to wreak havoc for the Kearney offense. It will be 4th down and 12 yards to go.
Yeah, Millard West brought a blitz right there, led by number 14, Jacob Harndurks. He came on that linebacker blitz. Looked like he went between the guard and the tackle there and was able to apply some pressure that forced Miller to make an errant throw.
So this will be a punt now for Braden Miller. And this is a high and hanging kick. Kennedy will field it. No fair catch called for, and Kennedy dropped right at the 30-yard line. So pretty decent kick. And they actually mark him at the 29. So just under 8 minutes to go here in the opening half. Millard West has got it done with a one-play offensive touchdown on a drive that started after a fumble by Kearney. Then they get an interception return for touchdown, about 28 yards by Beanham. And then they get another, that was just an interception. They got an interception return by Beanham, 28 yards for the touchdown a couple plays later. And then the drive after that, it was Gomes on a 20-yard catch, or 20-yard run, I should say. And really the offense for Millard West hasn't done a ton, but they've been set up with such short fields, you almost can't help but do something good with that.
Yeah, they've been able to take advantage of the short field Kearney has been giving them, and it's just about they're doing what their strengths are. They're pounding it up the middle, and then they're hitting Kearney with maybe an outside run, a rollout, going to the inside, then hitting them to the outside when Kearney isn't expecting it.
Second and 6 for the Wildcats. Pressure comes, the pass incomplete. Oh, a hit in the backfield, and that's one way to make a quarterback think about it anyway. A big hit that time from Parker Brush. He came unabated to the quarterback, and I tell you, that forced a high pass, which allowed a defensive back to get underneath a receiver. A couple of dangerous possible hits there a couple different times for the Kearney defense. But when it's all done, it's only incomplete for Millard West.
Yeah, Brush went untouched into the backfield. Just a little miscommunication there by the Millard West offensive line.
Tight ends each side for the Wildcats here on 3rd and 7. They want the quick pass, and it is incomplete. Oh, boy, just about picked off by Rodriguez over there on the far side. He sat on that curl route and broke it up. So a 3-and-out punting situation forced by the Bearcat defense.
I feel like Trey kind of has that in his head now, that what to watch for, because that's like 2 passes in a row that he's almost picked off.
And a penalty flag flies before this one could get going. A procedure against the Wildcats. So now, 4th and 12. Do the Bearcats maybe have a little pressure that they can apply? Decent rush, but nothing heavy. And Kearney now will just get away from this one, and Millard West will field it at the 46. This drive, you're not Jeff. What in the world's going on back here? This drive, far and away, the best starting field possession. It's the best place Kearney's going to start all night. Cannon Rath.
It is the best spot. You know, we've seen Kearney's been back deep in their territory and have not done much. We've seen 2 first downs, and on that punt, they brought the pressure, and they're going to be starting here at the 44. So, you know, hopefully they can try to get something, move the ball up for the Bearcats.
How's Randall Hall just across the stadium way?
Well, we had a little flooding. It wasn't our building that's been popular flooding. It was a little flooding in our building, so we're trying to get some stuff fixed. We got some water in front of our bathrooms, which wasn't fun, but it was a personal pool for me.
Ew, that's not fun at all. About 4.5 yards picked up by Braden Miller on first down, as apparently we're just we give anybody a headset in this room. I don't know. Second down and a long 5 to go. 6.5 minutes to go here in the opening half. Miller with Seth Stroh spread all the way out to the far side, his favorite receiver. And a running back screen. That is Maisner looking for some blocks. Miko's got a first down, and he's got it to the Millard West 40-yard line. Picks up 11 yards on the running back screen. One of the best plays of the night for the Bearcat offense.
And I like that play call, Eric, because they just completely
What
Millard
in the
West completely bit on that screenplay and Miko was able to make his way into that second level and make a play out of it.
I don't even know why I have a headset at this point. I'm just a guy watching a football game.
With the B team. That's what we're called now, Jeff.
Yes.
6:05 to go here in the first half, and the best drive offensively right now for Kearney High. This is Miller, straight quarterback keeper, right up the gut, slips through the line, still on his feet, and he's down inside the 25 and down to the 21-yard line. A big pickup there for Braden Miller. Call it 19 yards. Call it 1st and 10 Bearcats.
That's 6 foot, 200-pound Braden Miller. He actually did a great job, just powering his way through. And it looks like, the line finally tried to get a few more open holes and let Miller slip through to get a good gain there.
Yeah, it kind of looked like a funnel with that hole was just all the rest of the offensive linemen was kind of all around that hole up the gut, and Miller was able to take advantage.
So now you got to be thinking, well, Millard West is tired of seeing Braden Miller run it. So here comes Miko Maisner on his sweep. Millard West was ready for it, and they still can't corral him. Miko gets it inside the 15-yard line before he's knocked out of bounds at about the 13.
A great job there by Maisner. Lowered the shoulder and took out the 6'1" defensive back, I believe Caleb Larson, lowered the shoulder and trucked him down before he got taken out. So Miko trying to show off his, big kid, just trying to show off his power.
Yeah. And this might be close enough. Well, they're not going to measure it. They did stop the clock, but that's because Miko was out of bounds. So is it okay that we just keep saying Miko, by the way? Is he cool with that?
I don't think he'd have a problem.
Okay. I don't know why that's easier to say than Maisner, but there's Miko again, and he will not evade the grasp of the outside linebacker. He did that. The same play the other way was the previous snap, and he was able to shake the first linebacker and run around him. That time he could not evade the defender. I believe, was that 20? Was that Trey Wilbeck, junior DB, and he got into Maisner before Miko could make that cut, make that little shimmy move. And now it is 3rd down and a good 7 yards still to go with 4.5 minutes to go before the half. It goes without saying, down 21-0, that this would be huge for Kearney and probably 2-down territory. Pass over the middle is caught, big stick, but he's hanging on for the Bearcats. A great catch by Cale Masters, and it is 1st and goal, Kearney High.
And, yeah, that's just a great play to go over the top because the safeties were playing deep and they were lining up guys on the outside. They put Masters on a slant route, and it worked perfectly. Great hands to hang on to it after that initial hit.
Great job there by Masters just to cut across. Great read by Miller. His initial was probably Seth Stroh, but saw Miller. It was a quick catch, and he got tackled right away, but it was a 1st down for the Bearcats.
It might just be me. It seems like Braden's playing angry right now. Throwing the ball and running it. He's going to run it this time over the right side, through a little hole, down to the 5. Now everybody's scratching at the ball. The pile goes forward. The ball may have come out at the end of it. Now what are we signaling? Touchdown, Kearney.
And, Eric, just like you said, it looked like Braden was running angry. He would not go down. And when he wouldn't, his teammates, the offensive line, said, hey, let's help you out a little, and pushed him towards the end zone.
Well, that's either a 9-yard run for Braden Miller, and he gets it all, or Josh Garrels just scored a fat man touchdown. It's one of the two. I'm not really sure what. I kind of hope, for Josh's sake, it's a fat man touchdown. Not that Josh is fat. It's just, when offensive linemen score, you got to call it a fat man touchdown. Gabe Hines on the extra point, though, no good. So 21-6, but on the board finally are the Kearney Bearcats. 3:49 to go here in the opening half. Can the defense get another stop? I guess we'll find out after a timeout break. 3:49 to go. Second quarter, 21-6 after the I don't know, I'm going to give it to Braden Miller until somebody tells me that it was a fat guy touchdown. The extra point, though, blocked, so 21-6. But Kearney is on the board, and what an important possession that was. That drive started at their own 46, and maybe it was play calling. Maybe it was, like we talked about, Braden Miller just kind of playing angry a little bit. But that drive is what you would expect out of a Kearney offense. They worked a little bit of inside. They worked a little bit of outside, hit a couple passes, and, hey, punched it in the end zone.
Yeah, kind of a shot in the arm for Kearney. Get them rolling with some momentum here. Give their defense a little break for being out there so much. And so now Kearney's got to make a stop. It's a new ball game, but their defense has got to make a stop on this Millard West offense, who hasn't had not a lot of problems going through them tonight.
Well, they've only got 103 yards of offense as Millard West. Now they have 100 yards of offense because back in the backfield is the tackle there made by Charlie Poland, 5'8", 186. Oh, that's my kind of guy along the defensive line. Loss of 3 for Millard West.
Great read by Poland, just to bulldoze the line and get to the quarterback and take him down. You know, I'm pretty sure he was going to try to go out on the left side, try to swing, but Poland wrapped him up and said, no, we're going 3 yards back.
Was that what he said?
Most likely.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just.
No, we don't know what he was saying.
I bet he didn't say no. Anyway, late shift along the defensive line for Kearney. Gomes fakes the handoff, fires it deep middle. It is caught on the run. There goes his receiver all the way down inside the 35 of Kearney High. It's Garrett Kennedy who got free, got a little bit of an angle there on Masters, and ends up with a big old catch all the way down to the 34 of the Bearcats.
One step, that's all it takes, and Kennedy got that one step ahead of Masters, and it looked like Gomes might have just about tucked it and ran, but then saw Kennedy at the very last second cutting across the field, and Masters with an ankle tackle to save a touchdown.
So big play for Millard West, far and away their biggest offensive play of the night there, as Gomes is in the shotgun again, fakes the handoff to right, keeps it himself over the right tackle. And you see the big old fella, Tristan Gomes, gets it down to the 30-yard line. What maybe should have been a 1, maybe 2-yard gain ends up being 4, falling forward at the end of the play.
Yeah, that I saw there. Millard West pulled a guard that got one of the D tackles of Kearney able to seal that kind of edge for Gomes to cut it inside and fall forward for a good gain, decent gain on first down.
Actually, they end up putting it at the 30, so, yeah, they did give him all 4 yards there. 2:15 and counting here. Millard West does have 2 timeouts remaining in the first half. Gomes will hand it off to Jackson Wright on the left side, and he is inside the 25, lowers his shoulder, and finishes the run all the way down to the 22.
Again, the Millard West pulled a tackle that time. It was able to get a good initial block on Jeremiah Hageman, that outside linebacker. Even though Hageman came back and made the tackle, it allowed Wright to get to that second level and get a first down.
Well, it has been not, like we said, it hadn't been a ton of offense, even with all of the short fields for Millard West in the early stage of this game. But they started this drive at their 20 and spurred on by that big pass play, marching right down the field. The clock rolling with 1:41 and counting here in the first half. And again, the 2 timeouts in their pocket. Gomes is going to take one here. Or wait a minute. A reset of the play clock, which had been down to 11 seconds. And now the clock will wind again. So the officials just conferring about something there. Gomes wants the slip screen out in the right flat. Good block, but good running to the football.
Yep, that was a good block outside by Dales Beanham, number 24. Just got enough of the cornerback from Kearney, and he was able to kind of give some room for him to go upfield and get a good chunk of yardage on first down.
So second down and a short 5 as we're at a minute to play here in the opening half. Gomes gets his Wildcat set at the line of scrimmage. Hands it off to Jackson Wright. He's got an edge block. He gets it to the 10. A penalty flag comes down as Wright goes into the end zone. Penalty flag, though, comes flying right where that last block was being thrown.
I'd say that touchdown's probably coming back.
Yeah, I'd say you're probably right. That was Dallas Beanham. Actually, that was the receiver on the near side and was that last block trying to get around the edge. Might have had a hold just a little bit.
Oh, while we're waiting, it looks like, Cannon, it looks like we got a shout-out.
You know, last year, this is my job, color and shout-outs. Give a nice shout-out to BSN's, whatever grade he is now, Colton Holobeck, who is a colorman for the Bearcat Sports Network. I'm getting confused with my Loper stuff. I'm sorry. It's been a while. But Colton Holobeck, who was your normal broadcaster with Zach and James, is sick today, but he's watching from home. So, Colton, get well soon.
Well, yeah. Please. Otherwise, I'm going to have to come back here and do this with everybody again. 2nd and 5. Gomes winds up, fires it to the end zone. It is defensive pass interference on the way. Good job. That was 19 that time. That was Stotola, maybe?
Looked like Foster just got in there a little too soon, pushed him away, and he's going to get called for it.
Yep. Well, and it was a good job by Stotola to actually run into him, right? I mean, didn't have much of anywhere to go defensively, and so it's not college or the NFL, so we don't put it on the 2, but it is half the distance to the goal, and it does result in a first down. So 40 seconds to go. Keep in mind this drive started at their own 20-yard line with 3:49 to go. So this has been a picture-perfect drive so far for Millard West. Can the Kearney defense, after the offense finally got going to make this a game again, can the Kearney defense, because remember, Millard West gets the ball first in the second half. Gomes fakes the handoff, keeps it right side, lowers his shoulder, lowers forward down to the 3-yard line, and Millard West, Coach Kirk Peterson, going to take a timeout.
And this is a big moment right here for this Kearney defense because Millard West gets the ball in the second half. So if they punch one home here, they're up 28-6 going into the half when they get the ball back and a chance to tack on more points. Bearcats, from your perspective, they need to force a field goal here, a field goal try.
Well, field goal turnover would be better at this point. You know, get the ball out of Gomes' hands. You know, you're talking about 3 more plays from the 3-yard line.
Again, yeah, Millard West just might say, we're up 21-6. We're this close. Might as well just go for it. This could be 4-down territory.
You know, the way Millard West is playing all day, they've been punishing the Bearcats defense, and like you said, if they want to extend this lead, they have 4-down territory and use their size, and they can easily put in 1 or put in 4 before that clock hits 0. So Millard West, like you said, they're just probably just going to try to punch it in, extend the lead larger.
So the task falls on that defensive line, really, for Kearney. It's so tough to defend a goal line that it is so very important that your defensive line doesn't give up a seam that a linebacker has to fill because it's just so tough to bring down a running back or a big old quarterback like Gomes is. But that's Jackson Wright, boy, right through the middle of the defense. Jackson Wright for a 3-yard touchdown run for Millard West.
And that looked too easy for Millard West that time. Kearney didn't have a good first step at all. Millard West just pushed back that Kearney defensive line, opened a huge hole between that center and guard, and Wright is not. He has just open blue touchdown in front of him.
It only said Nebraska in the end zone, didn't it? On for the extra point kick, Sam Fetty. Good snap, good hold. Kick looked just fine. 28-6, our score as Fetty's kick extends the lead for Millard West. 29 seconds to go here in the first half. Fellas, your thoughts so far on Millard West, on their defense. Outside of that last possession for Kearney, it has been some kind of good so far in this game.
Yeah, I'm more impressed. I mean, their D-line's their D-line, but I am more impressed with their linebackers, especially the outside linebackers, because that was where Kearney was possibly going to beat this Millard West team, is with Miko getting to the outside and doing what he does. But those outside linebackers have been doing a good job of seeing that outside, especially number 4, Brayden Cordiff. He's been all over the place tonight, playing sideline to sideline, not allowing any big plays that Miko usually or Braden Miller produces.
So we'll have to see if something magical can happen for the Bearcats here with the final 29 seconds of the first half. This about to be the 16th possession of the first half. It has been a lot of those here so far in this game. This will be Rodriguez taking it from his own 5, has a little seam, and does get it out across the 30-yard line. 1st and 10 for Kearney, 22 seconds left and no timeouts here in the first half.
Well, it would be interesting to see what Coach Cole wants to do here. I mean, you could just take a knee and go into half, but you might want to take a shot or two downfield, especially if you – I don't think it will happen if you can get Sestro one-on-one somehow down the field with him being 6'4", that'd be ideal.
Well, that's an awful deep set for Miko Meisner. That tells me that Braden Miller's going to take a knee, and we're going to call that the first half of play. Millard West getting it done defensively, creating themselves many, many short fields, and they are able to take a halftime lead 28-6. Kearney got on the board late in the first half. We will see if they can transpire that into the second half and get something going as they come out of the halftime locker room. We've got all sorts of halftime stuff, I'm sure, performances and whatnot, so we'll talk more coming up at halftime.
Life is already full of things to worry about. Like mornings. With First National free checking, we've eliminated the worry.
Halftime for our Strive game of the week, 28-6. Millard West on top of Kearney as they get set for second half kickoff. Eric Olga, Jeff Ekstrom, Cannon Rath, and like 15 other people here in the booth. First half, fellas, turnovers. You can't score if you don't have the ball unless you're the Millard West defense, then you intercept the ball and run it back for a touchdown. That's a bit of an issue. 123 yards net-wise, not total offense, but net, where the drive started to where the drive ended. 54 of the yards came on the last drive before the kneel down, before the half for Kearney. And that was when they finally didn't have to snap it from their own 20 or closer to their own goal line. Hugely important because you allow Millard West to score right before the half. Hugely important for Kearney now to not let anything bad happen in this third quarter.
It's a situation where Kearney just has not been put in a good position to succeed. Their offense has been stuck in their own 25-yard line the entire game except for one drive. Now it's just at their 30. So Kearney just needs to put themselves in better position to succeed and just not give up any more points to this Millard West team.
And this is Dallas Beanham with a nice kickoff return as he gets it all the way out to the 45-yard line. So you want to talk about starting drives well? How about Millard West starting field position? Ready? Kearney 28, own 38, 4 plays and a punt. Kearney 22, that ended in a fumble. Their own 20, no, I take that back. How about the Kearney 45, that ended in a 20-yard touchdown run for Gomez. Then the Kearney 24, that ended in a fumble. Their own 29, that was a punt. Their own 20, that went 80 yards for a drive. 1st and 10 from their own 45. Gomez will hand it off to Jackson Wright, who scooted into the end zone on his last carry of the first half, and he's got across midfield on the first snap. That is Braden Miller. Does he normally play defense?
I think so.
He did a lot last year, and usually Coach Cool, when he has his quarterbacks, he likes to keep them just as quarterbacks, but I don't know if it's just a move of desperation or just a move of let's just put the best guy there since they're down 28-6.
And again, this not a district game for either squad, but huge playoff points and postseason seeding for both squads is definitely in play in this ball game tonight. A late pitch out there, but still near first down yardage as Miller was in on the tackle. The run goes to, was that Fraschetto? Was that 10?
Believe so.
No, 18. 18, I beg your pardon. Nate Glantz, the former quarterback, who we have not seen play at quarterback at all tonight. It has been strictly Gomez. Can you hand me my backpack by chance?
I say that was just a nice triple option. You're going to have in plays like that, you're going to have a smart quarterback who's able to read the defense at a split moment.
3rd and 1. Jackson Wright, he fell down before he got to the line of scrimmage there. Got hit in the backfield and dropped. 4th and 3 upcoming, and the Kearney defense perhaps has held right away here in the second half.
And that was Jeremiah Hageman coming on that blitz. It was an inside linebacker blitz. Didn't look like he was even touched. Regardless of whether Wright would have slipped or not, he was just stuck in that backfield.
You know, if you're the Bearcats, that's how you want to start this third quarter with a quick stop and get the ball back like it's about to be a punt here now.
I got to do something on the return, something good. Hopefully, Martinez will field it at the 15, but he's dropped back at the 13. That was outstanding coverage, and actually getting off the block that time was Gabe Anderson, one of the senior DBs down there. And now I've got binoculars, fellas. I'm dangerous. I'm lethal.
It was Trey Rodriguez back there with the reception on the punt.
Did I say that?
Martinez.
Well, I said Anderson on the coverage. Who did I say?
I think you said Martinez.
You did say Martinez.
Received at
it's Rodriguez. Oh, I'm sorry.
Don't worry, I'm struggling.
I hope Adrian plays well tomorrow. All right, that's at 1st and 10. Kearney toss sweep. Here goes Maisner looking for the corner. Penalty flag comes down. That's thrown in the area of a hold.
You know, that was kind of a dangerous pitch. If you saw it, Miller pitched it, but the outside linebacker for Millard West kind of timed it, and it looked like he was a little too early. But he did almost time it right to pick off that pitch, but Miller did get it off to Maisner in time, and that could have been bad for the Bearcats.
And that penalty flag, though, from the 12, so back to the 6-yard line it will go.
And again, Kearney being being put in a position where it's hard to succeed offensively. They got to be able to break out a play here and then. They're trying to attack the outsides, but it's just a matter of whether the blockers can seal the blocks, because even when you're seeing either they're not sealing their blocks to the outside, or when they do, it's a hold. So Bearcats got to be able to adjust and seal the outside to give the playmakers a chance to make a big play.
Took some time to get out of the huddle. Now with 8 on the play clock, Miller will fake the sweep, and he will keep it himself as he gets across the 10 before he gets walloped by Trey Wilbeck, a junior defensive back that came up and just put a big old hit that time on Braden Miller. So it is 2nd down and still 11 to go here. 9:10 remaining in the opening minutes of the third quarter. We mentioned Millard West in their starting field position. How about Kearney? Their own 9, their own 28, their own 20, their own 16, their own 20, their own 1, their own 16, and finally their own 46 when they finally were able to do something offensively with it. Swing pass for Maisner out in the flat, and Millard West was ready for it. Even Miko couldn't outrun most of the Millard West defense.
And you just see, again, the outside linebackers playing sideline to sideline. Braden Cundiff was there. He had an extra helpers with him, but Millard West doing a good job of swarming to the ball, especially when Kearney is trying to go to the outside, either with Miko or Miller. They're just doing a great job of swarming the ball, especially those outside linebackers who, to come into this game, had to play top notch.
So 3rd and 10 after the swing pass only nets a yard for Maisner. Miller will roll the pocket out to his right. The deep pass is tipped. It is intercepted along the far sideline. Picked off by Zach Merkley, and Millard West is set up in prime field position again. The 4th takeaway by the Wildcat defense.
And it looked right there. Miller just tried to force it. Maisner was going towards that near sideline, but he was surrounded by 2 defenders there by Millard West. It was a really tight window, and even when Miller got it there, Millard West was in a vicinity that they got a hand on it, tipped it up, but just a forced pass there by Miller.
So Millard West takes over at the Kearney 27. We said this far too often in the first half. Now a bad snap. Glance will go back and he's not falling on it yet. Kearney's got the football. Maybe. The pile's still moving around out there near midfield. It's Bearcat football.
If you're Kearney, that's exactly what you wanted. You turned it over, but one play, the Wildcats is gonna be right back to the Bearcats, and they're gonna be at the 50, so it's midfield. And maybe Miller can build out the momentum there, and the whole team, like the whole Bearcats, and maybe drive the ball forward and get some more points on the board.
Were you guys talking about Jarrett Christianse before? Yeah, the big fellow just caught one. He just got to that one at the 49 is where they will start. So finally a big break for the Bearcats.
And now for Kearney, it's just not about getting a big break. It's about taking advantage of this big break. This is one of the few mistakes Millard West has had, and they have to take advantage of it. They cannot let this up.
Well, the only other time they've had halfway defense field position, it was right down the field. Miller wants a deep shot. Far side, Stroh right through his hands. Seth was there. Decent coverage. The throw was there. We just got to get a little more stick-em on the hands for Seth Stroh out there.
Yep, I really like that play call. Go with the momentum. Take a shot downfield, especially with Seth Stroh. It looked like he was one-on-one. Of course, he's 6'4". He's got the height advantage. The pass was there, but Stroh just not able to bring it down.
And not a breath of wind. There wasn't much wind when we started this game. That Old Glory there in the south end of the end zone is not moving at all.
Nope.
The leaves across the way, nothing right now. 2nd and 10, even though the down marker says 1st and 10 across the way. Hageman goes in motion to the near side, and that is where Miller will roll. He wants to keep this quarterback run the whole way, and Miller snuffed out. Millard West was there in a hurry that time. One of the linebackers was 54, Caleb Tay, a junior, and he drops Miller for a loss of 4 back to the 45-yard line.
Again, Millard West, like mentioned before on that last defensive drive, swarming to the outside, not allowing anything off the edge where Kearney has been wanting to go here in the second half.
So what can the Bearcats try to get done on 3rd and 14 from their own 45, trailing by 22? Miller, play action, has pressure, now is running for his life, looking for a block. Can he get one back to the near side? He's still on his feet. Now down the sideline, it is incomplete. Oh, that was really, really close. Cale Masters just about picked that thing off the Foster Field turf, but instead incomplete. And after getting the one play and the fumble all the way near midfield, that is a loss of net 4 yards on the drive for Kearney High, and they will have to punt it away.
For as much as Miller was moving around, that was a good pass from Masters to catch. Just Cale was running too much towards the near sideline. His momentum was carrying one way, and the ball was another, and just 2 out of reach for Masters.
End over end kick. Kennedy, woo, that was close down there. That was some nifty footwork by Hanson Ho to keep away from that thing. And down to the 22-yard line is where Millard West will take over, 1st and 10. 6:43 to play here in the 3rd quarter. We've had punt, interception, fumble, punt on the 4 total possessions in this second half so far. I may be running out of room on my sheet for total possessions of the game. We had 16 total possessions in the first half. That's a lot of possessions. That's like all-star game possessions. That's kind of crazy out there. So 1st and 10 from their own 22. Gomez in the shotgun. And he will keep it on a little triple option read and get it out to the 25.
A little scoring update coming across town. Kearney Catholic is down 28-0 in the 3rd quarter to Sutton.
Sutton's good. They're in C2. I've seen them play Centennial, who's the number 1 team in C1. Yeah, Sutton's in C2. No, I'm sorry, Centennial's in C2 as well. Saw Centennial beat Sutton 41-22. Centennial is up on North Bend Central. The last I saw, it was like 33-12. The Broncos look really good there in C2. Quick pass to the near side, caught for a 1st down. Caden Oderman, who had the touchdown catch back in the 1st quarter. It seemed like that was about 3 weeks ago now, doesn't it? But Oderman had the 28-yard touchdown catch on the first offensive snap of the game for Millard West after they'd forced a fumble at the Kearney 28. That's one play was all it took for Oderman to find. Actually, I have breakdown in the defensive secondary for Kearney. 2 Wildcats were right there next to each other, and they were both going to score, whoever caught it. Kearney's best hope was if one of them would have knocked into the other one and knocked it free. So 1st and 10 after the 1st down catch from the 35. That's Glance in motion. They'll hand it off to Jackson Wright, though, and he plows his way across the 40 and out to the 41-yard line, and then a late penalty flag comes down at the end of this one. Perhaps a little shoving, a little jawing at the end of that one.
I think that one's going to be on Millard West on that one.
Well, if you believe the guys in blue, they were sure clapping after a reaction of some sort.
You know, from my angle, it was like Wright kind of threw a hand in Miller's face after he took him down, so this can be, the unsportsmanlike on him. But it looked like he threw a punch at his face mask.
So there's a personal foul. And they just tossed Jackson Wright. How about that? Jackson Wright.
I don't even think Jackson knows.
So Cannon, good call up there. They call a punch thrown by Jackson Wright, and he has been ejected from the football game.
And that's big for Millard
Wow.
West. That's their premier back.
The running game hasn't been spectacular by any means tonight, but it's been pretty efficient. So here's the other thing. So that play counts. So it's a carry to the 41 for Jackson Wright, then a dead ball 15 yards backwards, and Wright is ejected. So now it's 2nd down from the 26-yard line. It's not 1st down again. It should be 2nd down. There, the down marker does change. And now the clock winds. Can the Kearney defense force something big to happen on their half of the field now? Gomez just wants to lob one down the far sideline, and it is incomplete. His intended receiver was Caden Oderman, and it will be 3rd down and 19. So big loss there for the Millard West offense and their running back Jackson Wright.
And that might make, not Millard West, not make them two-dimensional, but it might be more focused on Gomes running the ball instead of maybe those option reads to Jackson Wright.
That is Ethan Valencia, Jr., that is now in the backfield for the Wildcats. He looks like a little guy out there, but cuts it up the field, has a nice carry. He's going to be well shy of a 1st down, but does pick up about 12 yards of the 19 he needed to go. Maybe 13 yards there, as it will be 4th down and 6 yards to go. So a punt here for the Millard West offense.
And Kearney will have some decent field position.
And no fair catch. And again, great coverage down there. Gabe Anderson wrapping up immediately Trey Rodriguez.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Wrapped up Trey right away that time, brought him down. So Kearney High will have it 1st and 10 from their own 32-yard line.
And you hate to say this is a must-score drive with about just a little under a quarter and a half to go, but you're down 28-6.
It's a must-score drive.
Yeah.
Now, if Kearney had been moving the ball up and down the field, I'd maybe say this isn't necessarily must score, but it's been such a struggle to move the ball tonight for the Bearcats. It sure feels like something big needs to happen. Deep out route, a good throw on the run by Braden Miller. Was that Richter's 38?
Yep.
Will makes the catch there, so 2nd and 9 upcoming. That's the other thing. Kearney hasn't had a ton of plays tonight that got on 1st down that got 5 or 6 yards. They went, so 9 on 1st down is outstanding. They really haven't done that a lot tonight.
And especially when you look at that passing game, that's what they need to do, stick to the sidelines. Going over the top has not been successful. Those safeties have been playing well for Millard West tonight.
This is Miller on a straight quarterback keeper, spins off the initial surge, and
I think the football came out.
That ball might have been fluttering out for a moment. It looked like Miller was able to secure it, and he's going to be just shy. Going to give him that initial surge. He's across the 41, but he needs the 42 for a 1st down.
Yeah, that's just good defensive play up front for Millard West. The big bodies of the Wildcats up front showed right there, and their ability to stuff those up the gut runs.
Miller will go under center. That big defensive front digs in for Millard West, and it's Hageman, the fullback, on the quick hitter, gets it out to the 44 and a 1st down for the Bearcats.
I think what might save Kearney a little bit there was the fact they went in a little outside the guard instead of between the guard and the center, because you saw Millard West send a couple of linebackers through those gaps. So Hageman was able to identify that, went to the outside, and he was able to get that little extra yard to get the 1st down.
And sometimes all it takes is that little half step to one side to give you that opening. Meisner dots the I formation. That's Stroh split to the bottom of the screen. Richter's in motion. And handed off, and that was not Miko Meisner in the backfield, but Millard West has got the football once again. Another takeaway. That is the 5th takeaway for the Millard West offense or defense here tonight.
And again, like we said during pregame, Kearney cannot make mistakes against this Millard West team. They're going to have to play almost perfectly when it came to the mistake game, and it's maybe, besides the Grand Island game, the worst they've played turnover-wise and just mistakes overall has cost them here against Millard West. 5
turnovers for the Bearcats now. You throw that number out, and then you're like, it's kind of amazing. They're only down 28-6 right now. Gomez will roll the pocket on 1st down, fire it near side, and it is caught. His receiver is Dallas Beanham, and that is a 1st down.
And I think that was a good job by Millard West. I've been noticing that the Kearney secondary has been playing a little not prevent, but they've been playing 5 yards out from the wide receivers, which allows those Millard West receivers to be able to make those quick out routes, especially when rolling out because the cornerbacks are playing so far off.
Gomez now with 2 receivers each side. Clock stopped with 2:40 to go. A little touch pass for Glantz, and he is hit and dropped in the backfield. Great job by Kearney High. Glantz kind of bobbled it for just a split second, and that allowed the linebackers to recognize, and it was Hageman knifing through there and dropping Glantz for a 5-yard loss.
And that all starts with the defensive end, because if that defensive end doesn't steal that outside, he's going to go around, and that gives time for Hageman to come on that blitz and get that tackle for a loss. So it all started with Sestro on the outside, sealing it, so the running back had nowhere to go.
Jeff, you should stick with this. Kane and you too. You guys are pretty good. I think you might have a future in this thing. 2nd and 14. Gomez now on the option keeper. Plows forward, gets it down inside the 30-yard line, down to the 29. Hageman again in on the tackle. It will be 3rd down, though.
You know, one thing I noticed about Gomez, I'm going to compare it to since I go to UNK, I work with the UNK broadcasting program, and Alex McGinnis, who is a junior quarterback, he is 6'3", 220. I mean, Gomez is only 6'4", 195, but he's using his size to plow his way through down the middle, and that's what McGinnis does for the Lopers. And they're both doing very similar. They're getting the 5 yards, and that's what's helping them move the ball down.
This is 3rd and a full 9 to go for Millard West. Kearney brings a blitz off the near edge, and this is just floated up. And who's got it? Is it incomplete? Hit the turf down there. The intended receiver was not Justin Shiner. That's the other side. That was Harmdirks. And Harmdirks couldn't quite adjust all the way back to snag it before it hit the ground. Boy, that thing just floated like a wounded duck up there, though.
Harmdirks sold it well, but you could tell there was just a big bounce that made it look like a catch. But
and how about this? 4-down territory for Coach Kirk Peterson and the Wildcats, leading 28-6 with 1:10 to go in the 3rd quarter. A shift from the Bearcat defensive line. Just chucking it deep, far side, a little contact, and the penalty flag comes out, but the catch is made anyway for the touchdown. Beanham's got it on 4th and 9 for 29 yards.
Wow, that was quite a play by Beanham. The offense, that pass interference was just going to be because the cornerback didn't turn around, but a bounce that went towards Beanham's way to be able to identify the ball and be able to come down with it all the way, and that's just a great play. Nothing else you could say. That's just a great play by the wide receiver.
Gomez has accounted for 2 touchdowns here tonight, and it's now 34-6 with an extra point kick on the way. And that is good by Fetty. So 35-6 our score here in the 3rd quarter. 1:03 to go in the period. We'll take a timeout and come back on BSN.
Life is already full of things to worry about. Like mornings. With First National free checking, we've eliminated the worry. Life is already full of things to worry about. Like mornings. With First National free checking, we've eliminated the worry.
All right. Unbeknownst to us, a penalty on on Kearney on the extra point. So that kickoff came from the Kearney High 45, so an easy touchback there. And so the Bearcats will have it at their own 20-yard line. Stop me if you heard this, but not great field position for the Bearcats to begin a drive.
Yeah, they've been put in that position all night long. Not really. Their offense hasn't been put in a position to succeed from the perspective of field position. But regardless, the Millard West defense has just shut down the Bearcats all night long. They've made them one-dimensional, I'd say, just because of how well that defensive front and those linebackers for Millard West is doing tonight.
Well, and that's the thing. If you've got a defensive front, even if they're not making the play, they're probably consuming so much attention from your offensive linemen that your offensive lineman can't get to the second level. And even if you try to, then something like that happens as a play in the backfield is blown up. Alex Kemp, who was on the who actually was trying to get a handoff the last time that the Bearcats had the ball, got the handoff that time, but was dropped for a 2-yard loss on first down.
Yep, that was number 94, Nasir Nabulsi, who I believe he wasn't touched because Seth Wiedewelt, that right tackle, was pulling on that play, but just no one was able. Just a great first step by Nabulsi. Kearney didn't have time to get even any hands on him that allowed him to get that play from behind.
Miller in the shotgun with 20 seconds left in the third quarter. Now running for his life, fires it near side. It is caught. Richters has got it, and he's out near midfield. Finally, a big play offensively for the Bearcats as Miller takes another shot after he let that one go.
And again, that's a situation where a cornerback just bit too much because it may look like Miller was going to tuck it and run towards the near sideline, but he stuck. He kept looking downfield for an open receiver, and that's just about having open eyes.
43 yards on the catch for Will Richters, and Kearney is across midfield for the second time in the game, and they do get the snap off. This is Kemp looking on this stretch play, getting outside, and that is how the third quarter will end. So Kearney trailing Millard West 35-6 as we head to the fourth quarter after this.
Life is already full of things to worry about. Like mornings. With First National free checking, we've eliminated the worry. Life is already full of things to worry.
We welcome you back here at Foster Field, where we have some scoring updates. Good game going on in Millard South, Elkhorn South, tied at 21 in the fourth quarter. And then we got Creighton Prep is up 29-3 over Columbus. Where'd all my scores go?
Here I got one. Wilbur Claytonia beats Johnson County Central. This is in C1, 41-14. Wilbur scores 4 touchdowns in the second quarter. End of the third quarter across town, Sutton is leading Kearney Catholic 28-0.
Then Grand Island is up 63-7 over Bryan.
So how good really is Grand Island? I mean, I ask a bunch of Bearcats that, but how good is Grand Island?
I think they're going to be a pretty solid team this year. They're in that top 4, 5.
I believe they're ranked number 3 to World Herald, and they're 3 in the power points.
Mm-hmm.
So,
you hate being a Bearcat comparing it, but it seems like Grand Island has the potential to be that Kearney Bearcats of this year from last season.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was wondering. Cole Evans is back at quarterback, right?
No, I have some inside friends here at UNK that are friends with some of the Grand Island. They're just talking about how good they've been all year and like the improvement. I forgot what the coach's name is, but he's been talking about they've been doing a little new workout out there.
Yeah, Jeff Tomlin.
Yep. That was a nice little pitch and catch on a little stop route. And, again, UNK, they're deeper into Millard West territory. They've only been across midfield one time and ended up in a touchdown. But
you mean the Bearcats, right? Not UNK?
That's supposed to be my job.
Thanks, Cannon.
Hey, that's supposed to be me getting mixed
Cannon.
up.
Get out of here, would you? Gee, my knee.
My dorm's walking distance.
Hey, I dormed in Mantor, so I was even closer than Randall. 11:03 to go, and this is Miller on the rollout. Nobody home, going to have to tuck it and run, and scampers out of bounds, picks up a few yards, and they keep walking. They walk all the way to the 30-yard line, so it actually turned out to be a fairly decent play with nobody really out in a pattern that direction. As Braden Miller, sometimes they've been designed rollouts. That was not designed. That was just Braden trying to make a play.
Yeah, that was a nice play by the Millard West cornerbacks. It was kind of the the wide receivers make an outside block and have another wide receiver on the screen come back in towards the offensive line, the cornerbacks blew it up, and that forced Miller to make a run. This is Miller, quarterback run all the way, goes forward, pile moves, and I think he's got that first down to the 25-yard line of Millard West. So, again, this drive started at their own 20, so this is far and away the best drive of the game for Kearney High. But you've seen they got to take advantage of this drive. And at this point in the game, it's not about, oh, we got down here, we're just getting something rolling. They have to score on this because they're down 35-6. 5 turnovers. If this type of a score holds by the end of the game, the Bearcats are going to look at 5 turnovers and go, yeah, well, there's not much we're going to do if we're turning it over 5 times to anybody, let alone the 4th best team by at least one newspaper in the state.
Millard South takes the lead 28-21 with 10:04 left in the 4th.
Do me a favor, preface that with a little we got a score update before you just say it, but thank you. That was a great drop-in. 1 yard there for Miller. Braden's going to need an ice bath by the end of this one, which it's cold enough outside you think he wouldn't, but he has taken some shots in this ball game for sure. 2nd and 9 from the 24. Under 10 minutes to go in the ball game. Bunch 3 receivers near side. Miller looking that direction. Winds up. The seam is caught. Touchdown. Kale Masters takes it in from 24 yards out. And it looked like Kale Masters there just got a couple steps on the Millard West cornerback, and Braden Miller made a fantastic throw, especially being under duress. He was just – the Millard West defender hit him just as he released it. If Millard West was there even earlier, that might not have been the throw that it needed to be a touchdown, but great throw, great catch, and Kearney's on the board. And well-designed. Masters came on – he was the inside receiver on the bunch that time as Hines pounds that one off the scoreboard. That's a leg. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's real good. So that extra point kick, good. 35-13, our score. We'll take a break on BSN and come back.
Worry about. Like mornings. With First National free checking, we've eliminated the worry. Life is all
An 80-yard drive there, capped off by the 24-yard touchdown catch for Kale Masters from Braden Miller. The Bearcats are back on the board. It might be too little too late, but that one was the type of drive that Kearney is probably in the back of their minds thinking that's exactly what we're capable of if we don't have to, shoot ourselves in the foot with penalties. And they did in that time. And it seemed like it wasn't what was there? Was there a big play in that?
Besides, maybe it was the same drive, that rollout to the left, Miller hit Richter with that big pass. Was that on that same drive?
43-yard. Yeah, that was like 4 minutes ago. That was also like the longest time of possession, as we've got 9:41 for Millard West here in the that drive for Kearney started with 1:03 left in the third quarter. You're right. Forgot all about that. So now a play up the middle. Miko Meisner, we haven't called his name on offense lately, but he is back out there on defense this time.
Made a good play coming off the edge. Usually playing that defensive end, outside linebacker spot. And Kearney's got to make a stand here. You'd like, and I think it's almost a necessity to get a 3-and-out, because that's time off the clock if they get another first down.
Yep, it's about if Millard West is smart about this, it's about a minute for every first down you have. Probably just a touch more than that, to be honest with you. They will hand it off to Jackson Wright's replacement, and scooting for a first down goes his backup there, Ethan Valencia. And Valencia has got a first down for Millard West.
And Valencia got a little jump in his step there. He hit that outside with some speed. He beat the outside linebacker, Parker Brush, who was there for Kearney, but Valencia's speed just getting to that outside, be able to produce a first down. That's just a good play.
Move it out to the 32-yard line. By the way, Millard West drives in the second half. They have started from their own 45, the Kearney 27, their own 22, the Kearney 42, and their own 20. Clock stopped, and now it's definitely going to be stopped because we have a timeout for Millard West. 8:51 to go in the fourth quarter, 35-13, Millard West on top.
Ready, full of things to worry about. Like mornings. With First National free checking, we've eliminated the worry.
$8:51 to go, fourth quarter. Millard West trying to salt this win away. +3 in turnovers tonight are the Wildcats. They go with a swing pass out in the flat as the penalty flag flies right where that block, which part block, part takedown by Harmdirks, will back up the Wildcats.
Yeah, looks like got a little face mask maybe there. Guys, we're here on Strive Network. We want to thank you guys all for tuning in tonight. My name is Robert Goff. I'm the executive producer and the advisor for the Bearcat Sports Network here. It's been our pleasure to have Eric Allgood from Strive calling our play-by-play. It's always great to have Eric here with us. Also, you guys here on, we have Cannon Rath, two of our graduates. Cannon Rath is actually going against Millard West. Wow.
Yeah. I thought it was a hold, right?
It was a hold? Okay,
Yeah,
I thought it was a face mask.
I thought it was a face mask,
That's face mask here. Cannon Rath here, and Cannon's at UNK majoring in sports broadcasting, and he's the voice of the Lopers. And we're back here, Eric, here to this first down.
Yep, 1st and 16 after the hold. Gomez goes in the shotgun, hands it off to Valencia, and Ethan crashes out across the 30-yard line.
Got to pick it up here as a game here. Cannon here is at with Ford Clark and doing a little sports communication here. He's the voice of the Lopers. And then, of course, you get hearing Jeff Ekstrom, who's our announcer play-by-play last year. And Jeff is at UNL, and he is calling games for the Big Ten Network, BTN to go. And he's actually called some women's soccer games at BTN to go, and he's under the tutelage of John Schrader. And it's great to always have these guys come back and doing what they love to do, which is take sports broadcasting to the next level.
2nd and 12 here, and there comes the blitz near side. The pass is complete. A good tackle though by Masters. Jeff, I got to put another feather in your hat. When you and Alec Rome from Omaha Central tweeted that you guys were going to be calling the Nebraska women's soccer games that first game on BTN. I had to use both of you guys as the prime example of the opportunities that are afforded by Strive, and you guys took so many of those opportunities and ran with them that, 8 days after you started college, you're calling a game on Big Ten Network.
Let's say I even have one of our advisors say that me and Alec have experience more than some college juniors.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's what I want to come on here, and that's a great play by the Bearcats, bring up 4th down here. But, Eric, I want to get a microphone here and thank you and thank Taylor at Strive for allowing us to create this program, our Bearcat Sports Network, which allowed Cannon and Jeff to find their passion, and they're carrying on to the next level. So from us, we want to thank you guys.
Well, thank you. You're welcome. Yes.
Because you guys allowed us. And then here, I got a crew in here as we wait for the punt. We have what? We have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Punt blocked. And here come the Bearcats from the 5, a touchdown.
That is number 20, Chris Kingsley.
It is Kingsley.
Chris Kingsley with the touchdown. I know Chris real well. He's a very good friend of my son, Colin. And what a great moment for Chris Kingsley. I mean, you guys know Chris real well.
Yeah,
Yes.
Chris.
Yeah, and what a great moment here.
So Kingsley, how about this? Well, we've got 6:39 to go now, folks. We've only got a 2-score game all of a sudden. And Kingsley getting rightly mobbed on the sideline.
Kearney sent the house, and they were rewarded for it.
Hines pounds through the extra point off the scoreboard, and 35-20. So back-to-back touchdowns. The one, a 24-yard pass from Miller to Masters, and then Kingsley with the scoop and score on the punt block. Well, this is fun all of a sudden with 6:39 to go.
You know, the last time I saw that, the block punt for a touchdown was in the state championship game last November when Isaiah Stallford blocked the Omaha North punter and scored it for 6. I put the Bearcats their first score of the game, and second time coming back to being seen Bearcat football, they do it again.
Well, Cannon, you'll just have to be the voice of the Bearcats now too, won't you?
Yeah, take a seat, Zach.
I'm sitting right here.
He actually is taking a seat because he's sitting down right now. So, what does Coach Cool want to do with this? Suddenly, we've got something to think about.
I don't think you use your timeouts yet. I think when you first force the 4th down and the clock runs, that's when you call your first timeout. But I think you might be able to afford a little time off the clock. There's still 6:39.
Well, Millard West is sure thinking that Gabe Hines isn't going to be kicking this thing deep at all. The thing you got to be careful of is if Hines pops one right over this front line and, yeah, okay, fielded, penalty flags come flying in there. 3 of them actually come flying right in there.
Looked like it was going to be a face mask. One of the Bearcats was just sprinting towards the return, and it looked like his momentum carried him past the runner, and just a stray arm I think grabbed the face mask of Millard West.
You know, the last time I saw this play was also last year. It was Omaha West side when Kearney in the state, I think, was it semifinals we played them? Quarterfinals. We were up. I think it was at that time it was 20 to 13. After they scored, they did that and actually got the ball back, but Kearney stopped them. So that was actually kind of a, cool try to pick the smart play and, try to maybe hit it in the air long enough so you can tackle the return and maybe force them up and try to get the ball back and put another one on the board real quick.
So if you guys saw that, we did have the face mask against Kearney. We also had a block in the back against Millard West. So they're actually going to make them re-kick this.
Which I think goes Kearney's way.
Yeah.
But now.
So now what does Coach Cool do? Now does he say, well, we kind of pooched it with Hines last time, and Millard West was able to kind of fall back and catch that. That was Dallas Beanham, who's got a couple of touchdown catches tonight and a pick 6 as well.
Looks like they're still playing for that onside kick.
Yeah, now Hines is on the far hash mark, so he has changed his angle at least a little bit. .6:33 to go, 4th quarter. Hines again, he goes for the pooch down the sideline. Beanham falls back to the 20, recovers that, and returns it to the 30-yard line. So 1st and 10 for Millard West. Dallas Beanham, the sure hands back there. That's tough to catch a kickoff that's going away from you. It's not like you're catching somebody's quarterback spiral or anything, a kickoff moving away from you. But that was an impressive catch by Beanham. So 6:29 to go. Millard West 2 timeouts if they need any of them. Kearney does have all 3 timeouts and a 15-point game.
I think if you're Millard West now, you got to play to your strengths and just run up the gut, led by your big offensive lineman.
Yeah, I'd let Tristan Gomez keep this thing on a play just about like that for the rest of this game, perhaps. 7 or 8 yards on 1st down for Tristan Gomez.
That's probably going to be their strategy, run the clock. When Wright got taken out earlier, their big man for the personal foul, I believe the punch to the face on Miller. So now it's going to be up to Gomes to kind of just run it down the middle using that size and speed.
They'll give him 7, so it's 2nd and 3 as we're at the 6-minute mark. The other thing, Gomez, if he's smart, these snaps are going to happen with about 4 or 5 maybe on the play clock. And so you're taking roughly 35 seconds for every snap. And now a 3rd and 1 upcoming as the Kearney defense holds there. Seth Stroh and Hageman were both guys in there. So 3rd and 1 here, 5.5 minutes to go. And this snap is going to come with about 5:05.
And I think this is when you sell out for the run, right up the gut.
Well,
Bearcats got to send some linebackers up.
I think sneak is coming, and it sure does. And that will be Gomez. He got across the 40. He didn't need to get too far across the 40, and he makes it there. That should be a first down for the Wildcats. So 5:12, the clock stopped to set the change, and now it will wind again.
And I think this is when you might see Coach Cool take a timeout, maybe not all 3, but getting under 5 minutes. Time is winding down for you.
Gomez going to throw this thing near sideline, and it is incomplete. That was an interesting call. Trying to burn some clock, and instead took the home run shot up top on the near sideline to see if they could pick up at least some yardage. Garrett Kennedy was the intended receiver, and I'll tell you, if Cale Masters had his head turned around just a little bit quicker, he might have seen that thing bounce off of Kennedy's chest, and actually Cale had a fleeting second where he could have maybe made a play on that ball.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really understand the play call, especially with they got 7 or 8 yards. They're getting 5, 6, 7 yards on each run they're having.
Yeah, and they're going to throw it again. Here's Gomez on the rollout down the sideline, and it's caught. And down it goes inside the 15-yard line.
And that was just a matter of the cornerbacks biting too much up front, scooting towards the line of scrimmage because they thought that Gomes was just going to take it himself, but wide receiver to sneak behind them, and it's a high-risk, high-reward of passing this late in the game, and that time Millard West was rewarded.
Dallas Beanham. He's the man tonight for Millard West.
Especially
a pick six, a couple of touchdown catches.
Did it all in double coverage right there, too. Just good job there sneaking behind the Bearcats secondary. And great run by Gomez to just catch him downfield and make a just great pass right to his hands.
A great throw on the run to have the arm strength to muscle that thing down. You're right. 5 seconds on the play clock, and Gomez this time will run a little triple option. Valencia might have taken it away. I don't think Gomez wanted to give that ball up when he did. Kind of Tristan yelling at Ethan like, man, I was going to keep that. Don't be taking that. I had a touchdown going the other way. Instead, it's a loss of 1 in 2nd and 11 as we are under 4 minutes to go in this ball game.
I think when it comes down to it, any point scored by Millard West here, it's over. You got to force a turnover or block a field goal or anything to not allow Millard West to get on the board here this late.
And they're going for the quick pass near sideline, and it is – well, they're going to mark it complete. Hit the ground there for a
yeah, it looked like
it was on the ground because number 21, I believe, Sean Flanagan, he actually picked it up off the ground. It did hit the ground. I saw it bounce and picked it up real quick.
Yeah, Cale Masters was advocating for that to the near sideline referee.
Because, he was a little bit further back, so he had the little bit different angle. Like, he really couldn't see it. But I'm pretty sure that one actually hit the ground.
Yeah, that was interesting for sure. So the clock rolling now as we are at the 3-minute mark. Gomez looking to his right, sets up, fires it to the back of the end zone. Beanham is out there. Did he get a foot down? He did. Touchdown, Millard West.
And it looked like right there was a little pick play that allowed one of the wide receivers to get out to that corner. Bearcats were playing man-to-man coverage, which allowed that pick to be so successful and result there in that far corner touchdown.
3rd touchdown pass of the game for Tristan Gomez. His 4th touchdown accounted for. And Beanham has his 3rd touchdown accounted for. A pick 6 and 2 touchdown catches. And Millard West back up in front, 42-20. 2:54 to go, fourth quarter. We'll come back for the final 3 minutes from Cope Stadium.
Life is already full of things to worry about. Like mornings. With First National free checking, we've eliminated the worry.
You guys waiting for me? Oh, okay. I'll talk. Rodriguez on the return to the 26. 1st and 10 for Kearney High. Quick, Zach. Where's Kearney at next week?
They are Lincoln Southwest.
Yep.
I know we are trying to getting approved to go to Lincoln Southwest to live stream the game from Lincoln.
So make sure you guys always let everyone know. KHS Media Pro on Twitter is where to find all of that streaming information. Pass to Stroh through Seth's hands and intercepted. Gabe Anderson comes up with another INT. That is the 6th turnover of the night for the Wildcat defense.
Nothing Braden can do about that one. Good pass, put it in a good position where Seth can catch it. Just literally right through his hands and right to the defensive back who was right behind him in perfect position to make the interception. Gabe Anderson.
You know, one thing that the Millard West defense has done a great job, they picked out Braden real fast. They knew what his plan was, and his plan was with Seth Stroh the whole night. And you've seen he's been double coverage. Every time it's been thrown, he picked it off. They knew his plan was to go to Seth, and they did a great job in that first quarter just catching on to it. And it's worked all game. We've noticed later on in the second half, Braden kind of transitioned more to throwing it to some of the other receivers on the field. But in that first quarter, they figured it out that he was going to go Seth Stroh the whole game. And Braden finally changed it into someone else, like some of the other receivers on the field for the Bearcats.
So Southwest, you say, huh? Taking on the Silverhawks next week. Millard West, we mentioned this is not a district game for either team, but it was big for playoff points. So Millard West, I believe they were number 4. They're ranked number 4. Are they number 4 in points as well?
I believe so.
Somewhere up there. So looks good for a home first-round game. They've got a manageable schedule now for Millard West.
They face Grand Island next week.
Oh, they do get Grand Island. That's right.
At home.
At home. That's a district game. That's right. They do get Gish. So that will be a big one. But after that, I think kind of manageable, if I'm not mistaken, the rest of the way for Millard West. So
if I can pull up their schedule right here for Millard West, they take on Grand Island next week. Then they are at Lincoln East, and then end the year home against Lincoln North Star. Those last two teams, East and North Star, combined record 4-8. So a good schedule to end on.
Jacob Jones is a sophomore quarterback. He wears number 48, which is not a number you usually associate with quarterbacks. But he is in the ball game and picks up about 3 there on first down.
And Millard West is number 5 in the NCAA Power Points. Obviously, will most likely go up, while Kearney is number 7.
So Jones again in the backfield with 2 minutes to go.
And actually, after looking at the standings, it doesn't look like Millard West is going to move up. They're almost a full point behind the 4th place team.
Yeah, so you got Bellevue West, Burke, Grand Island, and West Side are all 5-0. And, yeah, another full point back is Millard West. Millard South that West beat last week is there at 6, and Kearney was there at 7. So Elkhorn South and Millard South.
There is 1 second left on a botch snap I think they're still down by 8.
You say they. Elkhorn South?
Elkhorn South is still down.
To Millard South.
Yes.
Okay. Sports Announcing 101. Got to know who you're talking about. They've got it on their 13.
I think they're on the 1 yard
line.
They're
on the 1 with 1 second left.
Yes. Actually, on Millard South's 1.
It's under a minute
so
now.
they're almost there.
So don't say there. Okay. All right. Here's the lesson. Elkhorn South is at Millard South's 1 with 1 second left.
Yes.
Elkhorn South with the ball down 8. Now you've set the drama. 4th and 2. This one void of drama. First down, and that will just about end the ball game for Millard West.
You know, these last few plays, we've seen Millard West send in their younger squad. Send in the younger squad to let them get a few downs of playing experience at the varsity level.
Yep, and Friday Night Lights, you don't even in Class A, you don't see many stadiums like this, right? So so you get to play under these lights. You play in a stadium in a setting like this. This feels a lot bigger than most of your Friday night games. So one final snap here for the young Wildcats, and it will be a 5-1 mark for Millard West, while Kearney High will fall to 4-2. And a game to Lincoln Southwest. And again, Rob and the guys trying to figure out if they can get the streaming done.
Yep.
And they will let you know on Twitter. KHS Media Pro is the Twitter handle if you don't follow that. If you have, honestly, if you're watching this game and you haven't followed that yet, I don't even know what you're doing at this point. Final count in our Strive game of the week. Millard West wins it over Kearney High 42-20. The Bearcats ultimately undone by the 6 turnovers and -4 in turnover margin for the game here tonight. Jeff, Cannon, Zach, final thoughts before we say goodnight.
Yeah, the stats make it seem like it's similar to the Huskers, the way they've been playing. They've been outgaining their opponents, but it's been the self-inflicted mistakes that has been hurting them in the ultimate result. Kearney, 6 turnovers on the night, and that's just a problem they can solve internally. It's not a big apparent problem that they can't fix. It's just that they can go back and practice this week, emphasize hanging on to the ball, making smarter decisions. Kearney will be just fine, but they are coming up against a good Lincoln Southwest team next week. It's on the road, which always makes it more difficult. But Kearney's got to fix some stuff in this week. Millard West played a good game. It was about not making mistakes, and they didn't do that tonight. They just played their game well, and ultimately it led to their success in tonight's victory.
There's also not too many Class A offensive and defensive lines as good and big as Millard West. Yep. Credit the Wildcats. Boy, they brought along the lines. It was all Millard West here tonight. Cannon?
Millard West did a great job, offensive, defensive. Like Eric said, their lines are incredible, especially with the Class A level. You know, Kearney, being from where we're from, we're homegrown. We're the homegrown here, so you don't see as many big people. You know, last year's line was the #1 defense in the state. It was Kearney High's defense, but this year they're trying to. It's a different story from last year. Every year class in football is always a new story, and Kearney's going to have to build off of that. You know, Millard West did a great job offensive, defensively on both sides. They're great job offense. Like, they have the size. Their size help, but defensive and for the Bearcats, it's a new start. It's a new start for them. You know, last year everyone's kind of still living off that championship run we had, and Kearney's going to need to get out of there and get focused. You know, they don't have as much talent, but they still have the talent there. And, you know, after maybe this next week, Coach School's going to put a good practice in, you know, hopefully get the offense and the defense set up, you know, for a good week for next week in Southwest.
So,
Zach?
Millard South did end up winning 28-21 over Elkhorn South. It ended up being 3rd and goal from the 16 on that snap that I don't know who tweeted it out, but they said it was a botch snap, still on the 1. I think there's
So not still on the 1 if
No.
it was from the 16.
no, not anymore.
Okay.
Fake news.
Hashtag fake news. Thanks, guys. This has been fun tonight for having us at Strive, and best of luck with your continued endeavors down the road. My name is Eric Allgood saying good night from Foster Field at Cope Stadium at UNK, where Millard West has won it 42-20 over the Kearney High Bearcats. Good night, everybody.
Life is already full of things to worry about. Like mornings. With First National free checking, We've eliminated the worry.